All right, so I wanted to make a video because of a topic that I was researching, and I happened to discover a post that intrigued me. So this kind of ties back into something that happened earlier, where I was discussing something with a relative of mine, and they happened to mention the fact that there was a movie that was going to come out starring, about Harriet Tubman, and that intrigued me. And eventually, I had checked out the trailer for it, and at first, I thought, "Oh, this looks pretty interesting," but I didn't really think much of it at that time until later when I discovered this article, and it intrigued me at first because it was from Madame Noor, and it was titled "British Actress Cynthia Erivo Faces Backlash for Her Role as Harriet Tubman Since She's Not American Descendant of Slavery." I was thinking to myself, this is an interesting thing, and it reminded me of the situation with Samuel L. Jackson and his issue with non-American blacks starring in American black roles. And I was thinking to myself how a lot of times the non-black the immigrant blacks would conflate the issue of blackness with the black American experience, which is entirely two different things. Not saying that an immigrant can be black, but obviously the black immigrant experience is a entirely different experience than that of a black American who is descending of American slaves. So, which also has to do with the formation of American descendant slaves, or ADOS, that has been building up momentum lately. And I was thinking to myself that, wow, this is fascinating at first, but it turns out there was a lot more to the story. And the deeper that I looked into it, this is what I discovered. It turns out that the actress who is playing the role of Harriet actually just said some disparaging remarks about African Americans. And you may ask to yourself, what exactly did she say? Well, this is what she said. And this is a response to a person on her Twitter. "I suppose I should really make an attempt to record signal properly SS, or attempt to sing to me daily S." And then she wrote in parentheses, "Ghetto American accent," or "Ghetto Black American accent. "Baby, you know I got you. I'm singing to you, but I gotta do what I gotta do. You feel me? Hashtag sing SSS." So, from what we can get here, she's making fun of African American vernacular English and Black American accents at the same time. And this person is getting cast in a role of a Black American hero, or American hero. And I mean, obviously, I can at that point, I was getting heated, and I can understand the frustration of people that were giving her backlash. And the funny thing about this video, the funny thing about the situation, this is not a new situation, or this isn't this has been going on for over a year, and I just happened to discover it, and I was thinking, man. And the fact that apparently she had said this a few years ago, while she was 26 years old at the time, so she was full adult, she knew what she was saying. She's not a kid. She wasn't she was youngish, but she was not that young to know what she was saying. She understood what the fuck she was saying. She was mocking black people, Black Americans, and yet she gets to be casted in a role that should have went to a Black American female actress, which is insulting to say, but unfortunate due to the fact that we don't really own these production companies that make these films and distribute them. We don't own it, so we have no say-so in what goes down. That's unfortunate, but that's the reality. So a person like her gets to get casted into this role. And the funny thing about her, based off of her tweets, she is the type of person that she can make a distinction between her culture, her Black British culture, her Black African culture, and the culture of Black Americans. But when she gets called out on her BS, they all of them want to piggyback on blackness, as if it's, I said, Black American culture is conflated with blackness as a whole, when it's really its own separate thing. And there should be more of a distinction between black immigrants and black Americans, but I digress. And that's how, a lot of times they get you in these situations. So she wants to conflate it. She wants to be different. She wants to be noted as, a black British actress, a black African actress. But, when we try to say that we want black Americans into these roles, well, they want to say we're all black out at the end of the day, which is very disingenuous and insulting. And not only is it insulting that a British person was casted in an American world as as a slave, as a person who's a slave that tried to free slaves, and probably one of the most widely regarded people in the history of America. Also, the fact that she mocked the same culture in which she is appropriating to star into this film is adding insult to injury. And I think at the end of the day, we as a people have to decide, who are we going to support this, or are we going to boycott it? If we support it, we're showing people like her that it's okay for her to say those things. Because honestly, I don't think she has publicly came out and apologized for it. And she did, from what I heard, she's been deleting posts. So yeah, she's not really sorry about that. And what's funny is that she actually has a friend by the name of Lubri or Love, whatever her name is, AJ. And the friend has said a lot of anti-black American statements, such as saying, Akata is the African way of calling African American nigga. Mia Akata, a whole me. I bet come up from here with that. Nothing but nausea pumps through this blood. Oh, Yoruba LMO. I'm not gonna lie. I will not be encouraging my kids to go to HBCU. It's the African elitist in me. Ghetto. Hashtag ghetto. It's you're 21, your mama is 36, and Rennie is 50, and you got a 6-year-old. So now she's stereotyping black Americans and saying that she has a child, that her child is not good enough to go to a historically black school, and saying that that's the elitist blood in her. So she thinks she's better than us, that she doesn't have to face that, but yet she lives in America. This person came to America when they were 9, and they resided in Chicago. She has benefited from being into America, and yet she wants to shit on black American culture. She's benefited from black American culture. We one of the popular things in America, and she benefits from that. The same with this other actress here. And this actress has not came out to against her statements. In fact, I think she supported a movie of hers a few months, like last year, that was released. She had brought her to the opening of her film. So they are still in communication with each other. And that same girl said that Africans aren't taught about the Middle Passage in school, or about slavery in the U.S. I don't know a thing about African Americans being slaves when I was growing up. I thought everybody had a maid and driver like I did. So that even shows just how different it is economically for immigrants to this country and black Americans. It's two completely separate things, and because of the economic divide, it seems like a lot of them have been or they have washed aside a lot of the issues that black Americans face, and they don't care. But they will appropriate our culture to the mass. They appropriate the slang, the music, the films, culture. They appropriate all that, but at the same time, they think they're better than us, even though they come to this country to receive the benefits of our labor. So I gotta say to anybody that's watching this video, if you're American, are you going to continue to Are you going to continue to support these type of things? Are you going to go see the film? For me, no, I'm not going to see the film because honestly, I'm tired of the disrespect that African Americans, we get from, not only this country, but now we're getting from people that say that they're our people, but then they can be their own thing. But then when we try to do our own thing, then they want to say it's wrong. So, hey, we're the ones being decisive. So hey, that's just me. Let me know how you feel about this video. Comment what you think below in the comment section. I'm just 96 and I'm out.